Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you step by step how to build a decent team to clear all endgame content to pretty much get your resources. Of course, meta is going to change. This is of beta, but the concepts I'm going to be sharing with you in this video will be very useful to take forward as well. On top of just sharing you like theory, I'm also going to be demonstrating live, practicing how I build teams. So instead of using the in-game engine, which all of you might not have because you don't have access to the beta, why don't we all get our hands on something that we all can use? And this is a free resource on EODDB.com. What it is it has all the units. So sometimes on my account, I don't even have all the characters, but I want to theory craft a team comp plan. So I want to plan my comp, and then I can just like screenshot and ask people on Discord, Reddit, and stuff like that. What exactly am I missing? Is this good? Is my positioning wrong? This is a very, very useful tool. So it's more or less like turn-based more so than auto chess because there's no RNG of fielding your units. Everything is started at the get-go. Usually, generally, you will want to look for tankier units, protectors and explorers. If you have no idea what these things mean, there are tabs over here that talk about all of these like buttons. If you are curious about any of these, the site basically has sheets, pages that already share all this information. So explorers, protectors here, and I kind of play the game a bit, so I know like what units to go for. But generally, I always like to have one frontline tank. I do like the turtle quite a bit, so I'll put him over here. And then once you have like one character building your front line, I usually like to start off with the front line because you can build your back line thereafter. If your front line collapses very quickly, it will start to fall apart. Most people tend to revolve their team compositions around the Eidos they have, but it's not necessary as well. So for those of you who don't know, when you, for example, pick an Eidos and you select them in your team composition, that particular aspect, in this case memory, which is what the turtle is as well, gets a specific buff. So you want to play more of the memory typing. So here I can just like select memory units. I can play this doggo over here, which is his pet. So the doggo here with this red line gets an extra buff. I can set him in like the second row so that he is not too near the danger, but because his range is quite short from experience, I'll put him over here. If I'm confused, if I leave him here, someone in the community will probably tell me maybe it's better to play in 2A instead, which is much more useful. And I can see that I'm missing like one more slot on the memory aspect to form a combo, so I'll just add in. Maybe I'll look for a damage dealer this time, so I'll look for like a blaster, which in this case is this a snake thing. If you're unsure like what these characters are, again, the database has all of them available as well, and has more details in the rest of the sheet. This is just like a very simple planner that we are doing. So now that we have our 3 memory units already, let's try to like diversify the comp. I want to go for something strong. Maybe I do like a waifu like character like Olympia maybe. So now that I have Olympia over here, the dark grids are recommended because she's of dark. So usually you want to play similar trends to the characters that you have. There are a lot of 4-star Eidos as well. So for example, Chien here is part of the memory. So now I have like 2 memory. That's why this one is like slightly orange text. So you can have 4 stars. You don't necessarily have to have 5 stars. But this is of course a planner, a theory crafter. So I can have anything I want here, I guess. And I'm gonna select Olympia as well as Ecruteak. So once I have these 2 characters, I just filter for dark. I see her pet shining. So I know that this is a unit that I definitely want to get. So I'll put the unit up here, Noctumbra. Again, I will share with you later on like what's meta, what's not meta. I'm just teaching you like how to build team compositions right now, step by step, so you can use the resource yourself too. Very importantly is matching your Eidos to your units and getting the most out of your certain aspects. So now I have Noctumbra over here and I place like maybe more dark. Let's filter for more dark. So I'm looking now for maybe a damage dealer. So this one is an explorer, which is like a bruiser. Protector, this is a tank, so I'll set a tank over here, and let's look for like some damage dealers now. Blaster and Mastermind. Let's put this unit here, and now Dark has like effects, which if you can see here, Hex applies an attack speed buff to the grids. So if I place my units on the grids, which let me just unselect this, which is basically on this, you can see this one's already standing on the grid. This grid is already here. There's also a grid here. It gives like a slight attack speed buff. So I could put this guy here, but he's like going to be quite squishy, so I'll just still leave him off the grid. So next up, I do know that I like strength quite a bit because generally they are pretty useful. They only need 1 to proc, and you will know that from the Nexus Anima database or the aspects as well. So Blade's pet is this 5-star, the Blade Hound here. So this grid now has 2, gives me an attack buff, it applies Dominator. The effects are all, of course, in the database. You can search more if you're interested. So this guy's set here, and this tank, maybe I can just put him on the side now because explorers are relatively tanky, and that's what Blade's pet is all about. So now that I have a comm of this, 7 out of 8, I have most of my stuff checked out. So the last slot is like really super flexible, and usually I like to build something like a healer over here. So a double chunkier front line together with a bit of a healer in the back. So this is Dracomore, which is very strong as well. It heals a lot of it heals a lot of your front line, provides a lot of shielding. You can check out the Nexus Anima sheet for like more details. So this is generally how you build a team. I'm going to showcase you a video. Some of you might be wondering at this point, oh, EOD, I don't have all the expensive characters. I don't think I'll be pooling a lot and I'm going to be like a free-to-play player. I'm going to be demonstrating that it's actually very possible to play with like random Eidos that you get, together with like not really matching team compositions. But of course, if you're interested in like more details on what the characters do, I have over here like on the Nexus Anima side, I did build this site myself. Do appreciate like some support. It's going to be a free resource for you guys. If you're looking for support, you can click here. If you're looking for healing in your team compositions, I mentioned like which characters represent healing. Again, this is just beta, so I didn't input a lot of like the numbers like 130%. But generally, kits don't change. They just tweak like the numbers here and there. That's why I included this kind of concept first. So I'm going to be showing you what team I'm running. So just for this, using this, I am basically running whatever I got from the beta. I do like Honkai. I play Baimei as well. This is great for PvE. And I play Chien for the memory buff. So you would see that even though reality and satiation is linked up, I'm actually playing a lot of the memory characters. So I'm running something like this with the doggo here with like DPS at the back. My turtle is in front. And for the rest of them, I'm running a strength, Blade Hound, or I'm either running the Blade Hound or the bear, which is either a protector or an explorer, depending on whether I need more damage or not. But let's just put the Blade Hound in here for the sake of. So I'm not running with like super a lot of synergies. I'm not even running with like their specific pets other than Chilean's this snake thing over here. And what else? I'm also running with the healer, which is, let me just filter. It takes a while because you might not be 100% familiar with where all the characters are, but after you get used to it, you kind of like know where to find, especially if all these filters is super useful when you can filter by the different typings as well. So I have one love over here, and I'm playing with a light, this Glampa at the back. I believe it's like something like this. I'm playing with I'll show you what it looks like in a little bit. Let me just show you how to set up the field over here. I believe that one change, which is this one, which gives me an AoE stun. So I think I play him here, this guy here, and you can double click to like deselect everything. So 7, I believe I'm missing 1. Perhaps it's a frontliner. Maybe it's the Hawk. I have 1, 2, 3, change, memory, strength, love. Okay, it's this guy here. I'm running a 2 love. So I can just like put this grid down, and then I can like just share it with people and say like, what do you think of my team comp? Can I improve it or whatever not? But this is more or less like a PvE team composition. You can just like screenshot and share or something like that. This is the team comp I'm running for PvE, and you can see it doesn't even have too much idle synergy, and just like slapping whatever. I'm using a 4-star. The only synergies I really have is like 1 4-star synergy, and I'm quite underleveled. So let's demonstrate on something. Some of you wanted to see like the hardest content. It resets in like 3 days. So in difficult content, you can select your buff that you get. So in this case, I'll just do like a magic burst over here. It's quite tough actually, especially if you're just like doing it randomly fighting. You have to kind of like know what you want. There's a certain effect buff. This is like one of the hardest content. The enemies now are significantly over leveled because in the closed betas, they cap off the level that you are to entice you to like farm. But this is not even like super optimal because I'm not using like the correct idols, just to show you that it is still quite possible. And the team comp here is exactly what we had on the grid. So let's just show you. So this is like multi-target damage for the number of shields that I have. I'm just like silencing the background just in case of any like overlap. So it is quite tough. You can see my units are dying quite quickly. I use the buffs from the characters. Some of them take longer than others. You would see from the... So this is like a quick burst. And I cleared it once, but it is quite difficult, especially if you don't have specific Eidos synergy to help you boost it up harder. So you can just like click, drag the buffs. Yeah, it is relatively quite tough. Sometimes you have to like adjust your formation until you get it right. So in this case, it doesn't work. You can post it out and see how it works, and you can just like swap it around. So different team compositions work better in like different of the modes. So let's just say I want to use this guy instead. Oh, this pair, and we will battle like this. So strength for strength, so I still get that grid over there with a little bit more tanky. Some freeze from Yannahjme. Sustain from Hungrill. A very, very long burst from these units. So now that I have the shield, I just burst. Because that's like a endgame mode specific. So you can see like just changing one character actually makes a very big difference. And it is the most of the battle is like kind of won based on before you enter the match. But me casting my spells actually do make a big difference also. Like you need to know when to cast your abilities. For example, like now because I'm getting the advantage, I want to freeze them to keep my advantage. If the enemy is about to burst, I can use certain skills like Hungrill's, HP and iframe when you hit 20%. And Chien is of course just a lot of energy for your characters to keep casting. So just like that, just like switching the team around, you actually can build a pretty decent team composition. And this shows that you really don't need a lot of expensive characters or specific characters to pull. It is quite free to play friendly, and that's my objective for this beta, to help try to find free to play teams rather than like everything too well. There are so many, this is just like one of them. So you can see that there's one more here, there's one more here. Each of them have different buffs, which favors like bursty teams, tankier teams and stuff like that. So many different variety of game modes that you can try. But generally, yeah, that's just my opinions. If you appreciate such content, you will find this site very, very useful as well. There's a lot of other things here. Like, for example, you can see all the different aspects, who are their companions very easily. I highly recommend you check out this free resource. I use this. We'll probably be using this for future videos when I'm talking about team compositions as well. If you like this video, you found this very helpful and you appreciate me putting in the effort, do leave a nice comment and see you guys in the next one.